What's going on, guys? I'm Tyler, and today I wanted to bring you guys a Cypher setup video for Icebox. Go and check out my Twitch channel down in the description below, give that a follow, and be sure to like the video and subscribe for more content like this. Enjoy the video, guys. Okay, so for I'll start with the trips. There's a few trips you can't really get too fancy with because there's so many like different spots people can jump over things. So basically, the main ones, just where to line these up, basically, you're going to want to have this so the bottom piece is just above this line here. Because if you see and actually like line this one up, that's basically exactly where it needs to be. So anywhere along here will get people pushing through. You can put it late if you want to have them like trip here and then you'll be able to react from it from like anywhere inside, or you can have it deeper if you want. It's wherever you want to switch them up from. You can also go inside. Same thing here. You can find a basic lineup by putting the bottom part right here and lining that up. So you can like line that up wherever you want from and just put that wherever. And then one more over here. If you line it up on this wall, you'll be able to attach it to here. So you can keep this like same spot. You want to like line it up in the same way. Then they won't be able to jump over this. And if it's here, like the further back it is, they might be able to get up here and jump over it. So if you want to like make sure you're covering everything, you can put it there. You can also have one up here as long as it's facing like this. You'll be able to trip anybody up going through this. So, I mean, people don't really do that, so you don't really have to worry about that too much, but that's an option you have. And so for cameras, one of the big things you need to learn is to get up to here. This jump is pretty easy. If you just jump and crouch, you'll be able to get it pretty easily. Just aim like to jump on an angle like this way. Don't aim to go straight, aim more like try to go that way. And you should be able to make it. Now the barrier is going to be here. So once the barrier goes down, there's a couple spots you can make. If you just get as close to the wall as you can and get in the corner here, you can get the camera like up here. Just jump and place that and you'll be able to see the early push here through and see anybody up here as well. It's really, really high too. You know, that's what I like to get from my camera's height. So people don't look that high to shoot them out. You'll be able to see a whole lot. And even when they're on site and everything, you'll be able to see that default plant back here. Any spots where they might like to camp. So that's like probably one of the best cameras you can have. If you want to have a little bit more safety, but a little bit less vision towards the offensive side, you can just put it on the inside part of this instead. So you won't be able to see as far to the right, but they won't be able to see it really either from over here, like at all. But you still have the same benefits of the defensive side of things. And if you want to see more of this row here, you can put it on this wall instead. And this you can see straight down, even less offensively, but more defensively, you'll be able to see. So other cameras, if you're in this tube here, you can hit this particular piece of debris and the camera ends up being pretty weird. Do you have to jump? You have to jump for this. And you can see a decent amount of like everything, including where they plant and some decent spots where they can camp. So that's one option you have. That one's kind of obvious though, but also like not really, just because of how weird of a spot it's in. But of course, when you're in the camera, it's going to have that blinking red light. So it might be obvious, might not be. It's more of a, once they see it once, they're going to be like checking for that because that's such a weird spot. That's another one. A couple more that you have. If you look over here, you go like deeper over, you can see like very slightly that the camera changes. So if it's like on the smaller side there, it goes on the inner wall here. So you can see default. And like this could be good for post plant because you'll be able to see that. No one's going to see this camera either because of like, you could see it's like, it's in there. So that's another one. Mostly probably better for post plant. But if you really want to use it for a defensive camera, you can. You're just going to have a lot less vision than you normally would. But you could also put it, like I said before, it's going to like have that slight change there. If it's bigger, then it's going to be on this wall so you can see more. But it's also going to be more exposed. So different trade-offs for which one you want. So you can decide which one's better for you. And then the last one for there's going to be a wall right here covering this. So you can't get on this before the round starts. But if you do, you have to pull your camera out before you get on the rope. Then you get on the rope. You can go up here, jump and place it up there, anywhere on that wall. And you can just retreat and get back. And you'll be able to see anybody pushing up. Again, it's pretty high and it's in a weird spot. They'll be able to hear it. That's the one thing. They're definitely going to hear that one come up, but hopefully it's hidden enough. If it's on this like incline part, they won't be able to see it as much, and you'll be able to see a whole lot of the push anywhere they're camping post plant. So that's a really good camera too. So those are probably the best setups for A. Now for mid, there really isn't much. As Cypher, you shouldn't be holding mid. Mid is kind of a waste of Cypher's potential because Cypher can kind of solo hold sites if he really needs to. So putting Cypher on mid, not really the best choice. So I didn't really look for any trips here because you don't want to be wasting your trips there. For cameras though, if you're stuck on mid, you can put cameras back here and you can see like a little bit of the rotation through mid. You can also get it outside here. for the same effect, a bit more clear vision. And then one of the better ones, if you hop up on this box over here, you can get it up pretty high. And this will give you the same vision. You'll be able to tell if they're going up tube or up straight to B. So this is a pretty good camera for mid, and that's pretty deep too. So like it's far away, they're probably not going to see it. So that camera's okay. That's pretty much the only things you really want to know for mid, because again, if you're playing Cypher, hold A or B. And now for B. B, you can kind of help out everywhere with the tube down here and with the main part of B. So the best trip here, if you put a wire up here on the back wall, and if it doesn't get stuck on the forks, this is like just enough height. It looks like you're a little low, but you will get hit by this if you try and crouch under that. And that's tough to shoot out too, because this is hard to wall bang. You will be able to, I think. Actually, you might not. No, you probably will. You probably will be able to shoot that out from that side. From this side too, it can be shot out, but it is tough, especially without hitting it. So that's one you could have. If you have a teammate here holding this, they could just play off that trip. It's a pretty good one. And then for cameras, you can get cameras if you're like on this little hill right here. You can hit spots over here, which like there's a bunch here that like give you different angles, because there's so many different like ways that you can angle the camera on this thing. But if you get it the right way, if you can see, I'll zoom in on this on the video. Let me just, yeah, no, I'm out of the way. So you can see, I'll actually just go over here and show you too. You can see all the way to back here. If you look on the right side of the camera, you can see Cypher, you can see me, my body there. So if anybody runs from B to A, you'll be able to see this rotation if you're just staring at the camera. So you'll be able to call out any rotates they make. And now if you look to the other way, you'll be able to see the default side. You won't be able to see this because obviously the box is in the way. But if you can see the push, see if anybody's holding over here, these angles, or if they're pushing up through this way past the tube. So that's one camera that you have. That one's tough to see too. So that one's probably going to last you like the whole round. Other spots for B. So that's one camera and one trip. This trip is like pretty standard. It's a really good one. So you can probably use this most of the time. Now the rest of the spots are going to be the main part of sight. So I'll go over the cameras first. You can hit some spots from over here. If you're on this, just get close to this wall so you can like peek out and see this. You'll be able to get it up on this barrier or this crate here. You'll be able to see them push up, see the default plant spot. And this will give you some solid information too post plant where they're camping. Maybe you won't be able to see past this, but you'll get some info there. Another one that you could use, this kind of camera, you have to be patient with. If you put a camera up here, just don't even open it. Just wait. Don't even use it. Pretend you're somebody else. You're a different hero. And then post plant, this will give you some awesome information. Like this is basically like a Cypher ult here. Because if they're planting, everybody's either camping here, they're camping in this area here, or they're camping back here. So if you can just open the camera, they're not going to be able to shoot this out in like half a second. So you'll be able to get a good second to like ping some spots for teammates and even tag one before the camera goes down. They might not even see it, so you can just stay in the camera for a while. But that's a really, really good one if you're patient enough and let it stay there until the post plant on B. And so two more. One, you can put it, if you get it on like the top half of like this this horizontal hole here, just get it up as high as you can. And you'll be able to see that initial push as well. So like over here, if they push through, this camera will catch that. And this camera's kind of tough to see. Of course, there is the blinking red light staring at you, but that's such a weird spot that like if they push through quickly and they're like really focused on like the main angles, they might find enemies. You'll be good. That camera's not going to get shot out. And another option that you have, you can make it even a bit tougher to see, is if you put it back here. Find the right spot for that, but you can like adjust this a little bit. You'll be able to see the same areas. You can't quite see when they plant, which is one of the issues. Like if they're here planting, you won't be able to see it, but it's still another pretty safe camera that'll give you a lot of information while you can just kind of hide in a safe angle. And then for trips here, trips, you can't really get too fancy. You have a really good one up there, which you should be throwing that one up, or over here. To line this one up, it's basically just on this. The yellow spot is a little too high, so I would recommend putting it on this. And you can also put it here if you want, and also on the backside too. You can have it here. Those are just basic trips, which are kind of tough. Like this is a tough spot to use trips on, because also with the barrier, like they'll be able to hear stuff if you put it over here. And there's a lot of ways to dodge trips if you put them like here. People can just go on top and avoid that trip altogether. So another really good one, because this is the default plant spot. Everybody plants here on B if they're like just straight up rushing it. If you put a wire on this particular spot, this will cover all the way to off the site. So when they're trying to plant here, they'll get tripped by it. So usually people will like smoke and stuff. So if you're like camping this, you'll know exactly where they are when they trip that, and you can wall bang this, or you could stand like over here or something and like, well, you have to like be able to get the proper angle to wallbang that from that side. But basically this trip will give you a lot of information. They're always going to be smoking this, or like just triple smoking, like with brimstone, just anything like here and here and even here. So there's a lot of spots where you can make use of this tripwire, because a lot of times they will hit this, because if they like see that they have an opportunity to plant, they're just going to rush it. They're not going to like sneak up to this and see the tripwire. They're going to hit that wire. So that's a really, really good wire there. And that's about it for wires and cameras on B too. So yeah, basically focus on A, focus on B. Don't really go mid. If you're going to play mid, play somebody else. Don't let Cypher stick on mid, because it's a waste of time. And those are also like the most important trips and cameras that you really do need.